Listen to this podcast now
on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Leadership Thread with Dr. Peggy Polonis.
I'm Dr. Peggy Polonis. Join me on each episode where I unravel the story that shaped leaders, tracing the thread that led them where they are today. Because leadership isn't born in adulthood. And thank you once again for joining us on the Leadership Thread, education, ethics, and sustainability.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now, you call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Limited time, 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.
The Rita Cosby Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Tonight on the Rita Cosby Show, everybody talking about those crazy comments at the Grammys and the anti-ice pins, the ice out pins. Now, in addition to all of that, also, we have heard a lot of people complaining about Bad Bunny, who is going to be the halftime entertainment at the Super Bowl. Just word coming out that Super Bowl tops about 100,000 signatures. People are saying that Bad Bunny should not be the halftime performer. For the love of country, they're saying, pick somebody else. Do not pick this particular guy because of some of his rhetoric against President Trump and against ICE. Trump also did an interview with NBC. Some of it's going to be running tomorrow. And some of it's going to be running during the Super Bowl, counter-programming, because the Super Bowl's on CBS at 6:30 on Sunday. So typical Trump saying, you know what? You don't have to watch the Super Bowl. You can watch me over here on the other channel. And the Tonga tribe, I love this. Billie Eilish, who came out, remember Billie Eilish came out and she was saying that nothing can be illegal for these people if they're on stolen land. In other words, shame on all of us for being on stolen land. And these people aren't doing, quote, anything illegal. Well, the Tonga tribe is saying, you know, it's really interesting. Exactly where you live, Billie Eilish. You're on our property. So maybe you should be handing over that property to us. It's like a $14 million house. And here is Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, talking about her reaction to all these celebrities and their righteous indignation.
I think it's very ironic and frankly sad to see celebrities who live in gated communities with private security, with millions of dollars to spend protecting themselves, trying to just demonize, law enforcement, public servants who work for the United States government to enforce our nation's laws. And you didn't hear this same type of uproar from celebrities in Hollywood when the previous administration allowed an invasion of our nation's borders and allowed innocent women and girls like Jocelyn Nungaray and Laken Riley to be killed and raped and murdered at the hands of people who should have never been in our country in the first place. And now you have law enforcement who are simply trying to do their jobs to remove violent predators like those who took the lives of innocent Americans. There was no uproar from Hollywood and the elitist crowd at the Grammys then, but there is now. And I think that speaks to the unfortunate irony that we're seeing in Hollywood today.
Yeah, I love that the White House press secretary is saying, listen, elitists, you are so out of touch. And this is not what an apolitical sports game is all about. Of course, there's going to be a lot more talk as we head up into the Super Bowl this Sunday. And meantime, also Iran trying to, looks like, poke the bear, if you will. They definitely seem to be provocative. There's some actions with a commercial liner, a U.S. commercial liner that just took place a little bit ago. A U.S. military ship came. It was in the Middle East and said, Iran, you better get out of the way. Don't interfere with the U.S. commercial ship. Also, on the USS Abraham Lincoln, that's that carrier group that's near Iran, there was a drone that was hovering and doing some very provocative action. Its intentions were not clear. There were warnings sent to it, and then a couple fighter jets took off the aircraft carrier and got rid of that drone, that Iranian drone. So things are definitely heightening there in that part of the world. Here is also Senator Lindsey Graham from the great state of South Carolina saying that this is a moment that President Trump should not miss. Take a listen.
One thing you can't do as president, talk like Reagan and act like Obama. There's no deal to be done here. These people are not trustworthy. The protesters in the street are not protesting for a better nuclear deal. They're protesting for a better life. President Trump, you said help is on the way. That has to be real. It has to be real soon. Do it, Mr. President. The people of Iran are begging you to be on their side. You have done it so good. You are Reagan plus. This is the defining moment in your presidency. Stand by the people. The Ayatollah fall.
A message from Lindsey Graham saying, we are begging you, take action now, President Trump. Meantime, on the ICE front, a whole bunch of Georgia students were cursing out ICE and had a very chaotic school walkout. Who are these school principals and executives there at schools who are encouraging students to walk out and blast law enforcement? What a great message and moral message to be teaching our young people. And meantime, Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, one of the members of the squad, listen to what she said. She said her whole plan is to just get rid of ICE. Listen to this one.
And so is abolishing ICE then just a talking point if that's not really in the demands?
No, look, I think it is about what we have the power to do. And I have said for some time, going back to 2019, I've said we should dismantle DHS because DHS was only a creation after 9/11. It never existed before that.
DHS is unimportant. Don't worry about Homeland Security. What a ridiculous, vacuous statement coming from that member of the squad. But I want to play this again, too, because this is Jerry Nadler, of course, congressman from New York. And this comment, I think, probably gets the most preposterous comment of the day. Here he is.
But what is really the major problem in this country today is the fascism in our streets. The attacks on American citizens by masked hoodlums. If you were attacked by a masked person, you might think you were being kidnapped. You'd be justified in shooting the person to protect yourself.
That's amazing. So if you were attacked by a masked individual, you might think you're being kidnapped and you'd be justified to shoot these, quote, masked hoodlums. That is how he is labeling ICE. That is shocking from a longtime member of Congress who knows better and is clearly bowing to the far, far left of his party in a desperate move of relevancy. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Larry in Brooklyn on line 3. Larry, your thoughts tonight.
Well, as far as Jerry Nadler goes, okay, I think he's definitely bowing to the left, but I don't think he wants to be relevant. I think he wants to be irrelevant because about 10 years ago, I received some inside information, and I believe it, okay? I'm not in higher level government. It was just accidentally relayed to me, and it was very credible, that Jerry Nadler was bought out by Hezbollah. He was part of the Iran deal that was struck by Obama in 2015, and he ratified the deal as a Jewish person, and he was paid off by Hezbollah. So I believe he has, like, foreign bank accounts. He has, like, millions tucked away somewhere, and he wants to distract attention from himself and show that he's a left-wing ideologue, so people just discount him. And the crazier his comments are, the more people are not going to focus on him because he sold himself out, basically.
Well, and by the way, Larry, obviously, I'm sure he would deny that that happened. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I think that when we look at the comments of the left, we have to distinguish Gerald Nadler because he's going to be more extreme than anybody for the reasons I stated. And also, as far as what you said about Hollywood, well, what the spokesperson Levitt said about Hollywood, you have to understand something. You know, people are a little bit naive. They don't understand that the reason that they're so hypocritical, they know they're being hypocritical. They do it on purpose. That's part of the whole Hollywood expression of superiority. Like, we don't have to subscribe by the normal the normal morality. We could be total hypocrites and get away with it because we're Hollywood. So they really groove in their hypocrisy.
Yeah,
so
they do. And
people.
Larry, where were they complaining about, let's bring up the example of what Lindsey Graham is talking about, Iran. Think about all those people, those protesters who are being slaughtered right now in Iran, begging for freedom. And I didn't see them saying, Iran out, Iranian mullahs out. I mean, that would be a noble mission. Or even what Nicki Minaj is doing. How about them minimizing Nicki Minaj? Nicki Minaj has been speaking out about Christians being slaughtered in Nigeria, which is certainly a very important topic, too. And yet they were like, oh, Nicki Minaj talking about something important. Oh, yeah. I guess what? Who cares about slaughter of Christians in enormous numbers and young girls being kidnapped? That's what's happening in Nigeria. Like this righteous indignation is it's really shameful, Larry. And it's so blatant, to your point.
Yes. First of all, this goes to show that this is even more to my point that they will not even address the genuine carnage and genocide that occurred in Iran, but they'll talk about the genocide in Israel because that's not real. What's real, they don't want to talk about because they want to show that they're superior. They don't have to talk about what's real. But on the Iran point, President Trump has to listen. He has to step up because he has a problem with hesitancy. He thinks because the massacre occurred 2 weeks ago that it's not. There's no more imperativeness to the moment. I mean, this is ridiculous. There are body bags in the tens of thousands in Iran. You can't let them get away with it just because they're not challenging the United States. It's like this is not a street fight. This is about justice. This is about real genocide. If this was Hitler, I mean, we criticize Roosevelt for not bombing the railroad track.
Right.
This is the same as a replay. Does Trump want to be another Roosevelt and not bomb the railroad track? He could take Iran out in one night.
Well, the thing is, Larry, and I do believe he's going to take some action. That's my gut. I mean, I don't know. I don't have any inside information, but I believe that he is going to try that. That's my gut, that he's going to make that kind of attempt. That's one. Two is he also wants to make sure all the assets are there. And he's kind of made it clear. I mean, he's pretty transparent when he answers questions because he's fairly transparent in saying that many of the assets are now in theater or they're getting there. He was also waiting, I'm sure, for some information from Israel. There's no doubt he'll be coordinating with Israel on whatever action he takes and maybe others too as well. So I think he's moving a lot of chess pieces. And I don't think he will be like one of those individuals who missed an opportunity. And boy, did Obama miss an opportunity and Biden and so many more, Larry. But you bring up some great, great points. Let's go real quick to Sandra on line 2. Sandra, your thoughts tonight?
Well, tonight I wanted to say that I also went to see Melania, the movie.
Yeah, how was it?
I loved it very much. Norman's right. She does show a great deal of adoration towards her mother. It was very hard for her when she lost her mother. So
and by the way, I met her mother. I had the honor to spend time with Melania's mother, and she was just a wonderful, beautiful, fabulous woman. Both of her parents, just A+, and I was heartbroken when I heard the news about her mom passing.
Yeah, and it was very hard for Donald Trump. He had to be very careful with her because she was so upset and he was so gentle. But in this movie, in this document, you see how there's a gap between what the media shows us about Melania and what she really, really is. So in this film, you get to see someone who's accomplished, disciplined, multilingual, culturally sophisticated, emotionally contained, self-possessed, and that doesn't mean to be conceited. It's just the opposite.
No, confident. Right, word. It's confident.
Right. So she's all these beautiful things, and as you know, and she loved her mother very much, and they show you all the preparation before the inauguration. And what the media tries to show you about her is the complete opposite. They say that she has no interior life. She has, she's silent. She's a silent wife. Just the opposite. She's a model who doesn't speak. Just the opposite. She's cold. She's disengaged. She's just out there for the optics. Everything they say, you see the complete opposite in this woman, and you love her and you respect her, and she's quite beautiful.
Oh,
we all know that.
by the way, and I even said that, Sandra, that, and I've had the honor to meet Melania a number of times through the years and talk with her. She is really warm, really beautiful. I mean, she's gorgeous, as you guys all see from images and video, but even up close, she really is just a natural, beautiful, gorgeous woman inside and out. And what I'm happy about, Sandra, first of all, I'm glad that you and Norm went. And I'm also happy that all the naysayers, like, you know, you look at a lot of the critics, the quote, mainstream media critics, they didn't like the movie, but the average person loved the movie. So it just shows, again, this bias. And they were saying, oh, it's not doing well. It did blockbuster the first weekend. So I love that the interest for Melania is there. Everybody really loves and respects Melania. And even if the critics, anything tied to Trump, it's Trump derangement syndrome. I'm glad America's turning out for her. She deserves it. And I can't wait to see the film. I haven't seen it myself. Sandra, I was invited to one of the premieres, and I didn't get a chance to go. So I do hope I get a chance to watch it really soon. I can't wait. Thank you so much, Sandra. Everybody, we're going to continue with your calls, 1-800-848-9222. And you're listening to The Rita Cosby Show on another busy news night.
The Rita Cosby Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This is The Rita Cosby Show.
Well, we are living in the fast lane, but we're getting slowed down by the snow in much of the country. By the way, there are reports that maybe more snow may be on the way to the mid-Atlantic area. And that includes even maybe the Big Apple. There might be a light snow, some bone-chilling winds this Friday as a fast-moving clipper is moving off the East Coast and hitting some other areas. Oh, my goodness. If you see, there's still so much snow all over the streets of New York. I thought Mondani's job, first and foremost as mayor, was to get the city moving. And so far, I'd give it an F. 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Robert in Brooklyn, line 1. Go ahead, Robert.
Hi, Rita. Thanks for taking my call. Well, the slaughter of Alex Brady, the Hennepin County, the medical examiner, has ruled it a homicide. So the Hennepin County medical examiner has ruled it a homicide. So
which is standard. Yep.
You tend to, yeah. So now it's most Americans want the illegal invaders deported. Most Americans want the illegal invaders deported, and most Americans don't want our government murdering people, who are exercising their First Amendment and Second Amendment rights. They don't want.
Wait a minute, Robert. You got to stick with us. We got a hard break, but you're making it sound like what ICE is out there, like at the OK Corral, and opening fire on people. We'll continue after the break, Robert.
The Rita Cosby Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Rita Cosby is on.
Well, some of the rhetoric from Democrats downright dangerous. I mean, we're hearing from Jerry Nadler that ICE's masked hoodlums, and essentially you'd be justified shooting them if they came into your home. I mean, that is a irresponsible and such a dangerous comment. And it also comes as so many others are indeed speaking out from the Democratic side. And the rhetoric is just, it's shocking. It's shocking to the core to hear them call, like Schumer, the secret police. They will say anything and do anything to clearly diminish law enforcement at the expense of creating danger in this country. And boy, is that not deeply, deeply troubling. And that means we're on a really dangerous path, guys. I mean, we are headed to the midterms months away. This is just the beginning, I think. And that is really scary. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-9222. Let's go back to Robert there in Brooklyn on line 1. Go ahead, Robert. Sorry about that. We had a hard break, so continue.
Well, now, there was recently an election in Texas in the Trump area that the Democrats, they won. It's setting off a lot of concern amongst Republicans about the midterms. Now, the situation with Alex Prady, it's not just him, it's not just Renee Good.
No, you use the phrase murder. So explain to I mean, Robert, do you honestly think they murdered him? Do you honestly think that another agent murdered Renee Good in Minneapolis the week before? What do you think?
Well, Rita,
that's a yes or no question. You said murder. Are you going to stand by your word? Because I think it's completely absurd, but go ahead.
Well, now, in terms of Alex Prady...
Wait, no, it's a yes or no. You said murder. Do you still believe they were murdered? Yes or no, Robert?
Alex Prady, I believe he was murdered. That's my opinion. Everyone saw it on video. There's abundant video that was documented that he was slaughtered.
You saw different footage than I obviously did.
Alex Prady was murdered. Most of America agrees with me.
Actually, not. That's not correct. But go ahead.
No. You're lying, Rita. You're lying.
No, actually, you know what, Robert?
People watch the video.
Robert, you have got to be kidding me.
Rita, it's your program, but be a gracious
yeah.
host.
Don't say lying, then, Robert, because you know what? I would never accuse you of lying. You're misinformed, but you're not lying.
You interrupt more than anyone before I can make one point edgewise.
Because you know why, Robert? Because you're accusing ICE of murder. That's a dangerous comment.
Video. What are we going to believe? What we saw on video? 66% of people who saw the video think that it was unjustified, okay? And it was not just Renee Good. It was not just Alex Prater. You had Miramar Martinez. She survived.
By the way, Robert, that's a different... Robert, listen, hang on, hold on. Robert, hold on, please. Robert, hold on 1 second. You have to hear yourself. You're getting all wound up. First of all, you said unjustified. That's different than murder. You understand the difference. I'm not sure if it was justified or not. We'll find out as the investigation goes. I'll give you that. But you just flipped from murder to don't feel it's justified. That's different. They're very different. Do you understand that, Robert?
Okay, you want to make a legal point? What most people refer to as murder and unjustified killing, okay, you want to be Alan Dershowitz and start splitting with his manslaughter and stuff like that. We all saw what we saw, okay? Now, Miramar Martinez, she was shot about 5 times in October, okay? Now, you have a judge, a federal judge, who's going to rule whether to release the body cam footage because the Department of Homeland Security, they don't want to release the footage. Initially, they were going to charge Mira Martinez for somehow obstructing or interfering, but they withdrew the charges, the DOJ, because it was ridiculous. They had to withdraw the case. Meanwhile, the federal judge has to decide whether or not to force Homeland Security to release the footage because their investigation is not an investigation. It's a cover-up. That's all it is. So,
Robert, you sound like you are really drinking the Kool-Aid tonight. I mean, really, I'm really actually shocked by you. And yes, I think putting out the footage is a good thing. So I'm going to give you that too. On that one, they should put out the footage, especially if there's questions about a case. And I hope they put out the footage on the Alex Prady case because we need to know what happened. Going back to your point, and it's not just a legal point, but there's a big difference between an unjustified shooting that maybe you didn't have to shoot at that moment than going and intentionally murdering someone. You realize how dangerous it sounds when you make it sound like they're out there to get murdered? I mean that is just a preposterous comment. And for you to say that Americans all think he was murdered, they think it was not maybe justified, that maybe the officers didn't realize one said gun, and the gun was off him, it looks like. We don't know. Was there another gun? We don't know. There's still so many unanswered questions. But I will give it to you that needs to be investigated. But for you to make it sound like they're out there murdering, that's not correct. And next time you should be a little nicer when you call into the show. Let's just put it that way, Robert. Let's go to Thomas in New Jersey, line 4. Go ahead, Thomas, after that one.
Yeah, God safe to you, Rita, and your listeners. And Robert, you're pushing air pollution tonight. You're taking up where Stan, you're hysterical. And call and be respectful because you're ruining the show.
Yeah, now,
anyway,
now, actually, Thomas, you're an attorney, right?
Yes, I am.
All right, so why don't you educate Robert, since he's obviously, in la-la land and Trump derangement syndrome land. Yeah. Why don't you educate him? What's the difference? He's saying, oh, they went out and murdered, and then he's claiming, well, some people say it wasn't justified.
They use hyperbolic language, Rita. This is all part of the left-wing lunacy. They throw these terms around like Nazi. Why don't you read a history book and see what the Nazis did? They incinerated people. They should, and the Jewish people let them get away with that, Rita. They let them pollute the term Nazi, and they sit back and they really don't do enough about it. But
by the way, Thomas, some do, but you are correct. They should speak out about it. Everybody should speak out about it because it's a horrible term that is misused and so disrespectful to what truly happened during the Holocaust and what the Nazis did.
But Rita, I called about the Super Bowl. Let's turn off Evil Bunny and say a rosary or listen to Erica Kirk. And also, Chuck Schumer and Sadler, they're both full of feces. You know, the ICE, the reason they have the masks on, they have their badges on the outside of their uniforms. These people are full of crap. You can't tell the difference between a BLM gangbanger and an ICE agent. They want them unmasked, Rita, because they want the face identity so that these marauders can come to their house and kill them. Why don't Chuck Schumer and Sadler be honest? That's what the unmasking is all about. They're both full of crap. They're full of feces, and we're tired of their lies, their sedition, and their anti-American behavior. Let's pick them up and put them in a cell for a while because they're really the Democrat Party is a criminal organization faking it as a party. They're Democrats, Rita. Let's face it. We give them too much credit. They're really anti-American, don't you think?
Well, let me play this, Thomas, because to your point about the demasking, which is just, you're right, it is so against what we all stand for, and to say, oh, well, they have to be demasked. And would they know the repercussions when you say demask people? I mean, demask law enforcement while their families are being terrorized, their addresses are being put out there, their license plates are being put out there. I want to play this clip, Thomas, because I think it's really relevant to what you just said. Yesterday, we talked with Congressman Randy Fine from Florida, and this is what he said. He had a challenge to his Democratic colleagues in Congress and their demask ICE agents. Listen to this.
Here's the deal. If we want to have a nationwide ban on anyone wearing masks for any reason, let's have that discussion. ICE agents can't wear masks, but neither can all the wacky Muslim terrorists that are running around New York.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. You know, get rid of, everybody should take their masks off, right? Then nobody should, not at a single protest. Because if that's the case, then Robert, guess what? Every person that's out there protesting anything has to show their face. And guess what? Maybe their employers and other people will know the real people that they hired, right? Thomas, you there? Go ahead.
Yes, I am. Yeah, Robert ought to, decide, does he want to be conservative or does he want to be another hysterical lefty? You know, Rita, he comes across with some good points, but he gets hysterical. He's wrong. Like, become a constitutional conservative and stop being a lefty loon and really decide who you are, Robert. You're taking off where Stan left off. It's air pollution. It really is, Rita.
Well, Thomas, thank you, because it certainly is interesting. When I heard him tonight, I was like, whoa. He had a triple Trump derangement syndrome pill, I think, right before the call. Thomas, thank you. It's always really great to hear from you. You are awesome. Let's go to Joaquin in Pennsylvania, line 5. Joaquin, some voice of reason, too, to add to what Thomas said, which was great.
Yes, yes. I enjoyed listening to Tom. I just got home a little while ago. I actually took my wife out to dinner. It was her birthday today.
Oh, fantastic. Well, happy birthday. This is to your wonderful wife. How fantastic.
Yes, thank you. To one thing, homicide does not necessarily mean murder. It just means that you died at the hands of somebody else.
Exactly. That's what I said. They always put that on medical examiners. But Robert doesn't know that. But he knows better, right, Joaquin? He knows better than everybody else.
I would think, but then I have to wonder sometimes, what could he possibly be smoking on the other hand? And also, as far as this guy Jerry Nadler goes, we should just call him Jerry Nadless. And
it is shocking that he's saying that. But you know what the problem is, Joaquin, and Thomas hit this on the head, and others, that when you have that irresponsible rhetoric, it is inciting people. That's the problem, because you have people who are listening out there and say, oh, well, this member of Congress said this. And the problem is there used to be a difference between the fringe Democrats, the you would call the radicals, like the members of the Squad and these others. And they used to be sort of the outliers, if you will, the extreme. And yet now, in recent weeks, they've become the norm. And maybe part of it is that Mondani got elected. You had the woman in Seattle who got elected. You've got the crazy DA in Philly, like, Larry Krasner and some others. But when you have all of those people and that whole huge combination, that's a very dangerous mixture. And somehow they have taken over the Democratic Party. They are the Democratic Party, because for a long time, Hakeem Jeffries and some of these others and Schumer and these others seemed like they were on a different planet than the Squad. No more. It's like the Squad is ruling the planet, and they're saying yes, 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 because they seem to feel like they're afraid. And the Squad is primarying a lot of people. That's the other problem, too. So they're acquiescing. Clearly, Schumer is concerned. Clearly, Hakeem Jeffries is concerned. So he feels like he wants them all. He wants to be all on board, and they will win. They will try to win no matter what the cost. They'll go after ICE. They'll go after law enforcement. That's a really dangerous place to be when there's no bounds, right, Joaquin?
Exactly, Rudy. The one thing that actually gives me possible hope is when I go on social media, and even when I go out to karaoke, I'm really shocked at how many young people are on the right, at least at the places that I go to. But even on social media, I'm coming across a lot of young people on the right, even African Americans and of all races, basically supporting ICE and saying that these people, Alex Preddy and Renee Good, basically, I hate to put it this way, but asked for what happened. They caused their own deaths. So I think there's a lot more support for this than a lot of people think that there is. And I did have an obscure thought on Savannah Guthrie's mother.
Oh, it's heartbreaking. What do you think?
Yeah, it might sound a little wacky, okay, but and this is a really horrible thing to think that to take anybody out of their home like this. This is unbelievable, and
it is.
But as deranged as the left is right now, and they're looking to vilify Trump and people that support Donald Trump, President Trump, and support ICE, I can't help but wonder, because of the fact that she's on NBC and she's on these basically mainstream leftist media programs. Is it possible that someone thought that, hey, maybe we'll do it and make it look like a Trump supporter did this?
Oh, what, like trying to set it up or somehow, or like in a weird way? I mean, who knows? Look, we have no idea of the political leaning. I mean, it's all speculation right now. We have no idea. And even though she's on a mainstream, Trump has always had, he even said this today, he said he always had a good relationship with her. So he always viewed her as a fair, which you could tell that's not always the case with a lot of the reporters, but he seems to have always viewed her as a very fair reporter. And I think she quite is. I think she does. I'm trying to think of any sort of, maybe there's times where you see a certain, but she's always been a very, I think, balanced and fair person and just a really delightful person. And I think President Trump recognizes that too. So I'm not sure if that had anything to do with it. Tony earlier said maybe something with the Olympics. At this point, we have no idea if it's even tied to her. But it certainly is looking like it obviously was a targeted attack. And if these ransom notes are correct, maybe it provides a clue as to who has her, and maybe they can get her back home, literally ASAP. And let's pray that that happens. The FBI's on it. Clearly, this is a huge priority. Joaquin, thank you very, very much. My heart really breaks for Savannah. and her family right now. Thanks very much. And everybody, we're going to continue your calls after the break. Robert's gotten us all riled up tonight. 1-800-848-9222. But first, support our heroes.
The Rita Cosby Show presents Support Our Heroes.
And this is the Tunnel to Towers Foundation Support Our Heroes segment with a very powerful story from Milford, Massachusetts, where a lifetime of service came into focus in Massachusetts when Korean War veteran and retired state trooper Joseph White, get this, 94 years old, was honored for decades of duty. The president of the Korean War Veterans Association said too often recognition for one's accomplishment comes often they have passed away. Honoring someone while they're still living gives them the respect that they deserve for the accomplishments that they have achieved. And this veteran service spanned two demanding careers. After graduating from high school, he joined the U.S. Air Force and he served in the Korean War. He then later returned home and he entered law enforcement, becoming a member of the Massachusetts State Police's 40th Recruiting Training Troop. And how beautiful to see him recognized. And of course, to all of our Korean War veterans and their families, we appreciate you. And thank you so, so much for your great service. And everybody, America's heroes need your help. Donate $11 a month to help the incredible Tunnel to Towers Foundation. They recognize veterans from so many different generations. Be sure to check them out at t2t.org. That's T, the number 2, T.org.
The Rita Cosby Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
It's the Rita Cosby Show.
And Tom Homan is doing a big press conference tomorrow in Minneapolis. I can't wait to see what he says and what is the latest in terms of cooperation or lack thereof from Minnesota officials. People like Tim Walz. And what about people like Jacob Fry? Earlier today, we were talking with Tom Emmer. He's the House Majority Whip. I love this. He called him Small Fry, as opposed to Jacob Fry, the mayor of Minneapolis, who we've all seen many, many times. Let's go to Teddy on line 4. Teddy, your thoughts tonight from Yonkers. Teddy, go ahead.
Yes, Rita. Robert is emotional, and I'm emotional, and it's not always good, and I agree with you. But, Rita, he was down on the ground. He did not have to die.
You're talking about Alex Preddy. Alex Preddy.
Yes, ma'am. His arms were not near any gun. And when whoever, and like I said before, let the investigation do its job. And
by the way, Teddy, you are spot on. That's the right attitude. I am not sure if it was appropriate or not. I always tend to obviously support law enforcement. They have a very tough job, but let's see the video. Let's see the investigation. But for these crazy people to jump and say it's murder, that is completely inappropriate. Law enforcement are the best among us, and they have a tough job.
If you're thinking about changing schools, why wait? At Manhattan University, love those guys. You don't have to start over. With transfer-friendly pathways, your credits count, and you keep moving forward. From day one, you're part of Jasper Nation, preparing for the real world. And with New York City just a train away, opportunity is everywhere. Ready to move forward without missing a step? Visit manhattan.edu/transfer and enroll today. Manhattan University. Don't start over, move forward.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Car shopping shouldn't feel like preparing for a marathon of paperwork. That's why Carvana makes buying and financing your car easy. From start to finish, search thousands of vehicles with great prices. All online, all on your time. And when you're ready, your new car shows up right at your door. It doesn't get better than that. Buy your car the easy way. On Carvana. Delivery fees may apply.